When last we left our heroes, Danir the Catman Wizard, Asmo the Sneckman Fighter, Nara the Drow Sorceress, and Wolfgang the Angelic Warlock, in the shadow of the events of Reclamation Day Festival, a grisly double homicide has taken place. 3 students of the Arcane Academy had gone missing, and only one had been found alive, but in dire condition. With clues piling up and a suspect in custody, can our heroes solve this crime and bring the perpetrator to justice? Short and sweet. We are still in the midst of the night. Last time we left off, Nara, you had gathered many homeless folk from the slums and had got them shelter for tonight. Meanwhile, Asmo stepping up to the constabulatory, the prison.
The wanker box.
You step into basically the cells. And inside, no, not this one. How about this one? Yeah, that'll go. Nice, airy. As you step through, plenty of guards on duty down here. The night shift folk usually have like a draft of like coffee at their side. But standing outside the door that you're heading towards, the interrogation room, stands a familiar dwarf. One who has...
Is he in the interrogation room or waiting outside the cells?
He's standing outside the padded door of the interrogation room is this dwarf.
Who is it?
You would know him as Pogan from the Kylum Diaboli. You don't work with him very often, but you know that he's the guy that's... he's basically Wolfgang's Earth for the Kylum.
What is his last name?
Never came up with one. Brightbeard.
Oh.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
Pogan Brightbeard. Maybe I did come up with one. I just don't have it written down in front of me.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that a malady? So Asmo comes in and just kind of nods at him as he walks in. Pogan.
Hello, Master Asmo.
To what do I owe? Your visit.
Well, Master Connolly asked me to stop on by and perhaps lend my efforts in your interrogation. A little zone of truth.
Oh, that's gonna be wonderful. Are you able to activate it without actually having to have eye-to-eye contact with him, or is it like a zone?
It helps if I'm in the room a bit, but I can do it from out here if you wish.
I'd prefer him not knowing it's activated.
He doesn't have to know it's activated at all, though he might feel the tug at the back of his brain.
Well, let's hope he just assumes that's just him coming off of whatever drugs he took. Of which he should be right now, unless it's one of those magical ones that just keeps popping off for a couple days. What do I know?
The officer that's standing by the door with him. We administered the proper elixirs to bring him up, sir. He should be sober.
How long has he been sober for?
If the elixirs took the effect that they should, probably about half an hour now.
That's good. He'll be thirsty now. Can you get us a big thing of water in 2 glasses?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And the soldier, or your officer, goes and kind of gives a message to an officer further down the line to go collect those things, and then he takes his post back at the door.
And if it's okay with you, Pogan, you can stand beside the door here and listen in to the entire conversation. I'm going to try and go and speak to this guy. I don't want to crowd him.
I'm at your service.
And thank you very much. May I use it minimally, because if I have to use it a lot, then, I don't know, I feel bad. Besides, I do believe that this gentleman's about to have a very rough come down.
I believe you're right. He grabs a holy sigil that hangs around his neck, a sigil of the sun, and it glows, and all of a sudden, kind of the area around you takes on a slight shimmer, and you feel the urge to be very truthful.
I'm fucking tired. Oh, God, I'm so tired. Just want
It's
to nap.
It's true. Like, the day has run long for you. It's approaching midnight now.
Asmo's been going for a while here. Asmo's going to be crashing hard after this. Which is good, because I'm also tired, so that works out. I can't wait to, like, pull from that.
Method.
Use it!
Use it. Use your...
Emote! Alright, so... all acting teachers are crazy people. So, has Asmo been brought the pitcher and glasses?
A man's coming, like, running down the hallway with kind of a jug of water and 2 tin cups.
Asmo grabs the tin cups with one hand and the pitcher in another.
If you'd be so kind as to grab the door for me, I'm going to go have a conversation with our person of incredible interest.
The officer salutes, and he grabs the door and kind of leans it open. Inside the room, you see him kind of manacled to the table. Hunched over is the man you know as Hans Bergen.
Hans Bergen.
Hans Bergen. He seems very... on one hand, like he looks like he's hungover essentially, but he's like seems at least as tired as you are. As you walk in, he kind of like glances up with his one good eye towards the door, and then he glances back down at the table. The 2 guards that were inside the room watching him give you a salute and step out the door.
Asmo kind of nods with his head. You guys can leave.
Close the door behind you guys.
And like that, you hear the door behind you as you are in here with Mr. Bergen, a few sconced torches that are illuminating this area, and the gray stone walls around you that seem slightly slick with condensation. As you take your seat, or as there is a empty chair opposite him.
Asmo puts the tin cups down in the middle of the table and the pitcher on his side of the table. And Asmo pulls out the chair and kind of pushes it back in, gets himself comfy. And then Asmo pours himself a glass of water. It's a tin.
So tell me, Mr. Bergen, would you like a glass of water?
Sure, why not?
Asmo's going to pour very slowly. Very slowly.
He watches.
Like,
he watches as the water slowly streams into the cup. First, like a little trickle where you can just hear the tap, 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 tap of the droplets of water hit the bottom of the tin cup. And then the slow trickle of it as it starts to fill.
Asmo's going to keep. Asmo's taking it sweet. It's going to take like a good 30 seconds to fill this thing. I mean, it's going to take his sweet time doing it.
He just watches and blinks.
There you go. As someone who has come down off of drugs myself, you tend to be quite thirsty. And just 'cause.
You hear the clatter
of
oh, sorry.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna withhold that which we need to live.
You hear the clatter of his chains as both of his hands go to grab the cup and slowly bring it to his lips. His remarkably chapped lips, you notice now. What was your poison of choice?
Booze. When you're a snake like me, it takes a lot to overpower the liver. So you gotta drink that good shit. The problem is anything powerful enough to overpower your liver. Yeah, the downside's not good. Got away from it as soon as I could. Still love me some alcohol every now and then, but I haven't really been drinking much of it as of late. Gotta be on top of my job.
Yeah, I suppose you would.
No. You know why you're here. Because you don't strike me as that stupid.
It was a bit of a blur when I was being brought in. I believe you think I killed somebody.
Oh. That's the fun thing about all this. I don't know if you did. But for sure, you had something to do with it.
Oh, all right. What do you have on me exactly?
Oh. Why don't you answer me that question? What do you think I have on you right now? Out of all the things that happened in the last 48 hours, what do you think you did that led my men to finding you in a drug hole, getting blasted off your ass?
Well, if I were going to lean on anything, I'd say the drugs.
See, funny enough, you're not wrong for thinking that. But as far as I'm concerned,
Asmo just kind of smirks. Asmo kind of finishes his glass of water.
been running around all day. Yeah, I had to go all the way out to your work.
You'll have to
Well,
be
you
more
work for them.
specific. I work at a lot of places.
What was the name of the farm I went to again, Nick? With Shadow?
That particular farm, I believe, was Green... hold on, gotta go back through my notes here.
Sorry, I erased
It's
my
all good.
notes off my whiteboard.
I have a lot of these notes, but they're all kind of out
I'm
of order
grabbing-
since they got deleted the last time.
I feel bad about that still. Let me go grab my... Sorry, one second. Let me grab a pen here, because I gotta write some of this shit down here. I already know I need to. Alright. What was the name of it?
I believe it was Green Fringe. Green
Yes,
Fringe
there we go.
Ranch.
Thank you.
Or yeah, farms.
You know, it's interesting because it was out of Green Fringe. And you know, it kind of was drugs. So how long were you stashing all that yumberry juice in that shack?
Yumberry juice in a shack.
Hmm.
I don't deal in
Pat-
that stuff.
It's weird. You, a consummate drug addict, had nothing to do with a giant pile of drugs at the place you worked.
Look, he like shows his hands, which are very much calloused. They're very much workman's hands. Do I look like I have the kind of money where I'd be working with that stuff?
Oh, it looks like you used a hatchet all night.
I'm a carpenter by trade.
So tell me, you build chairs, you build tables, bookshelves.
If you have need of them.
Good. You build art at all?
Art. No.
Displays.
Yeah. Sometimes. Shelves.
Corpses in a tree.
He kind of squints his eye and so, kind of like looks at you. Kind of locks his eye with your eye.
Two of them to be certain.
And Asmo pulls out of his pocket, pulls out the hatchet head, and throws it into the table to dig it into the table. Tonk on his side. My Asmo side.
He looks at the hat, like you kind of catch him by surprise by like throwing a hatchet head into the table. He looks down at it.
This was found beside the desiccated remains of two magic users on your work site at the Green Fridge Ranch, 100 meters away from a cache of drugs.
By magic users, I suppose you mean the innate.
The innate.
That's what they call them, right?
I'll be honest, I call them nicknames all the time because I don't got any of that in my system. My magic comes from the equipment I use and the woman I live with. But
I suppose you and I are more alike.
oh no, we're not. Not anymore. Because I am not the one who's on this side of the table. I've been on that side of the table, not for killing kids. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're the number one suspect. You really are.
He looks back at you. I don't kill kids.
No, hold on. Well, directly accusing you of killing him is actually kind of a... maybe it's a misnomer. Tell me, did someone come to you with a job? And did you say yes to the job? And then you got a bunch of dead bodies you had to chop up?
I do a lot of jobs, but I don't kill people. He looks at you.
Yes.
He once again looks at you in the eye. I kill monsters.
So tell me, are the innate monsters to you, Mr. Bergen?
And what if they were? You've seen what they're capable of, haven't you? You've seen what they can do, what they have done.
Yeah, I also saw the display a bunch of non-magic users did to them. And you won't believe what I saw. You don't even need magic to be a monster. All you need is excuses. And saps. Is that what you are, Bergen? Are you a sap? You take your money and don't ask questions?
I ask
And you
plenty.
pay with the consequences when you get to the job?
I ask
You
plenty
just-
of questions.
So,
As for whether I'm a sap, he just kind of shakes his head. Honestly, I don't know anymore.
so Bergen, if you were in my position, and you had 2 dead bodies, and at the job site we go to, you're ID'd as a person of interest by your bosses at the time, and it just so happens to be right on the workplace where 2 dead bodies are portrayed. You gotta know, for a problem-solving little guy like me, that's too much of a coincidence to make me think it's a coincidence. So one of 2 things happened here. Well, one of 3 things, actually. 1, you killed them, and you're just in denial about it. Number 2, you're responsible for the cleanup of their bodies, because that's what you were hired to do, because you want to go get loaded. You just did it at the workplace, either before or after work. Stored the bodies, chopped them up, and then you went out to go get high because you were part of something so damn ghoulish. And even though you hate the innate, you hate killing kids or being responsible for their bodies being destroyed, desiccated, displayed as a lesson. And you were either high already or too impatient to go get high yourself that you left a hatchet right nearby. And don't you believe it, this is the hatchet that was won at the axe throwing competition that you were ID'd at. It's so interesting to me, because part of me wants to believe you didn't do it because it'd be too easy. I just catch a guy who was sloppy. But I also don't know if you actually killed them. I think you're responsible for what happened to their bodies afterwards. I really do. Or you're someone's sap and they're trying to put the heat on you. Now, would it be one of your 2 friends? Or the employer you have? You're all hanging out during the festival, right? Having a fun time talking about the good old days. When change wasn't happening, even though change is a constant in this world.
He lifts the tin cup and takes another sip out of it. Sounds like you made your mind up about me already.
Well, hold on now. If I had, I wouldn't be in here asking you questions, because I don't think it was one person. Far from it. I know a lot of people don't like the magical innate because essentially they were second-class citizens with the old guard.
Oh, I don't give a shit about the old guard.
You don't, huh?
No. This ain't...
I think Kent was a piece of shit.
He was a uptight, rich bastard like any of the other ones.
You know he tortured criminals, right?
Yeah.
That's why I poured you water. Because it is a new guard here. We don't torture prisoners. You're coming down off drugs. You need water. Or you'll get sick. And I need you to answer my questions and work with me. And before you think that you're uninvolved with this situation, know based on the evidence I have in front of me right now, you are involved. And I even talked to you about everything that has gone on here. I know some things you don't, and I'm not going to say what they are, because I need you to tell me what you were doing last night. And I will listen to you, because I want you to know I have my own take on events based on the evidence I've been given here. And as far as I'm concerned, you were responsible for those bodies being displayed at your workplace, or you have some kind of rival who had a contact with the murderers, and they wanted to chop up all the bodies and put the heat on you. And maybe they were a drug runner trying to implicate you in that, too. But you gotta know, am I that much of an idiot to just like, well, you said you didn't do it, so you didn't do it. You know that's trash. And you know that's dumb. You know you're implicated, and you know you're involved. Even if you don't want to think that. And I think that's why you went and did a bunch of drugs. Is to bury that reality.
Alright, you want the truth?
I'd like your truth.
I did work for the Green Fringes, but I never worked their farm. I built them a booth. I built them a booth for the festival. And yeah, I went to their place last evening, just before sunset, to collect my payment. And then, I went and I loaded up, and I smoked out. And when I woke up, I was getting punched in the dick by some reptile.
Sounds like you were being a smartass, so maybe 50-50. Maybe everything balanced out, huh?
Yeah, maybe it did.
It's just one hit, though.
I've never set foot on their farmland. I
You
don't
said
know
you went
anything.
On their property.
I went through their front door, and I've never stepped out the back. So I don't know anything about no dead kids on their property.
So what time did you get to their farm at?
Must have been an hour or so before sunset. The sky was getting a little pink.
Was it? Now tell me, who were the buddies that came with you?
I didn't have no buddies with me that night.
Oh, Bergen. Bergen. You painted quite a picture for me here. You're saying that the night where two bodies are desiccated, where the axe used is the one connected directly to the thing you helped build.
He looks down at that. That's not a carpenter's axe, and that's not my axe.
Just because you're a carpenter doesn't mean you only use a carpenter's axe. You use what tools are available to you.
And I'm telling you, that's not my axe.
Well, certainly is the axe used for what happened to those kids.
And that's a damn shame, but it never touched my hands.
Touched your employer's property, though.
Well, then I think you're talking to the wrong guy.
Really? So what you're saying is this was all had nothing to do with you, huh? It just so happens that a guy who clearly stated that he doesn't like the magical users and has anxiety and fear over them, and as someone dating one, I get it. Sometimes innate have powers that are baffling, that make you question everything. Isn't that safe to say? So if it just so happens that you went there for work-related things, just so happens that you go there to get the work that night, get your money, get your pay. How much they pay you, by the way? How much you get paid for that gig?
For the booth?
Yeah.
5
How much you
gold.
get paid? 5G, huh? It's not bad. It's a day's work, yeah?
He just kind of shrugs.
And that's weird because the Green Fringes said you worked on their land a lot. You said you only did 1 or 2 gigs, never were on their farmland. They told me something different. And I can't help but feel that they're either telling me the truth or a lie. So here's what I want to know right now. Are you trying to pull the wool over my eyes, or are you implying that the Green Fringes had this happen to them completely by accident? Of all places for these bodies to be displayed, it's right where you were, where you swung by the night of the bodies being displayed. And come on now, I'm a detective, I'm a sheriff. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. You know I can't just let it slide that that's unrelated. So I need to know right now, like this fear you have of the innate, this fear you have of them. You and your buddies, the two of them, the lady and the other guy.
He squints and looks confused.
Oh, you remember them. You were partying with them. Aside, during the festival.
Neither of the two that he was with was a lady.
I thought one of them was a lady, actually.
Nope. All three of the photos you have are of dudes.
I thought you said one of them was a girl. I apologize. Can I retract that? Because
Yes.
this is my own mistake.
The two friends you had, talking to, your friend, right? You're friends with, what was his name? He's got a family, a well-dressed gentleman, was a man of prominence before the new, order took over the city a couple years ago. What's his name?
He opens his mouth, and his eye seems to open a little bit wider as a word that he did not intend to escape his mouth comes out. Figer Lone Grop.
Figer Lone Grop. Mr. Lone Grop himself. Mr. Lone Grop and you had a conversation.
One of his hands just kind of touches his lip for a moment, and he realizes something's wrong.
Need more water? You tired? You're coming off drugs right now. And I need you to be lucid. I don't know what you took. Truthfully, I was expecting you to drink a bunch of yumberry juice now that you're connected to that crime hall.
I got nothing to do with that.
I'm not saying you do, but now you're connected to it. Because multiple crimes happened around two kids who were butchered! Bergen!
And I didn't
Asmo, yes.
butcher no kids, monster or otherwise.
Interesting. It's just so interesting to me right now. Because it sounds like you're trying to imply right now that you're completely innocent of all this, even though you've been seen chatting with known agents of anti-innate. You right now can't even hold the fact that you have that feeling towards them, even though the two of them are murdered, even though knowing you could say it, you're still not avoiding saying how you feel about that.
He leans forward and starts talking again. Let's see how this go. Okay. He leans forward. I didn't have nothing to do with no deaths on that goddamn farm. Do you think any plan that would come out of this would be something so juvenile and stupid as to get caught right away? And his eye just kind of twitches again, and he kind of just shuts his mouth.
A plan. Huh. A plan, Bergen. You're right. Bang on the money. If there was a plan, why would it be this sloppy? Well, if the one employing it is a junkie, maybe it is. And right now, you're holding the bag for this. Now, this plan. If anyone did a plan like this, there's a plan, huh? Was this what you and your two friends were talking about during the festival? They're not here right now, you are. Their junkie friend.
His eye is doing its best not to make contact with yours right now. he realizes right now that there's something magical happening that's making him say more than he wants to.
Okay, what he just said again, I'd like to go in my own out of character real quick. He said, you said it very quickly. Could you repeat what he just said again to me?
Yeah, essentially the gist of what he said is he didn't have nothing to do with butchering any innate, and if the entire conspiracy would have to be stupid for it to be immediately unraveled by something as dumb and reckless as this.
So tell me this. When you and those you surround yourself with talk about ways to fight back, claim your strength, reclaim your power, people must say some pretty crazy things out loud to make you go, that's stupid. And this would be one of them, yeah?
I'm done talking. Do what you're gonna do.
Oh, you misunderstand what this conversation is. Punishment's not coming down until we get to the bottom of this. Sorry. Forgive me, I've been running around all day today. You see, there was an incident happened, the shanty part of town. They caught some people. And they also found the third kid. The one they didn't kill. Currently in recovery. Surrounded by guards.
Are they guards you trust?
Asmo kind of smirks at that.
No, but the innate around them I do, because they're furious. Just like the non-innate would be if a bunch of innate killed a bunch of non-innate, because, different. And there's somebody who isn't typical. I'm not human, or elven, or dwarven. I am from the swamps. So usually, I know what it feels like to be different in that regard. The thing is, these kids were just walking down the street, minding their own business, and they get jumped. 2 of them end up dead, butchered at the exact place you went to that night. 3rd one gets held for whatever reason until your buddies decide to kill him, or I don't know who. Now, I don't know if you had anything to do with this specifically, but I'm pretty sure that you have something to do with it now. Whether or not that was your consent is really the matter of the mystery right now here, isn't it? It's Mr. Lonegrop. Mr. Lonegrop.
His eye just kind of closes, like with a. You can really read the "God damn it" in his face as you say the name.
So what'd you get up to the night of the festival? After the booth is all set up.
I told you. I'm
get
done talking.
Oh, you're done talking, are you? You're done, huh? Well, here's the fun thing about this. In this situation, you're not finished until I'm finished. And the longer you go on, the more obnoxious I'm going to become, and the worse your hangover is going to get, because it's going to become withdrawal really quickly. And guess what? I'll pour you water, but I will not be getting you drugs. So, if you want to help this conversation go quicker, we can. Or you can drag it out longer.
He once again meets your gaze. I got nowhere to be. Do you?
You're gonna hate this answer. There's nowhere more I'd like to be than to be at the One-Eyed Club.
Asmo just smirks.
You can't see it, but this one just winked.
Asmo points at his patch.
How'd you lose yours?
Oh, I'll be honest with you, women.
It's true. It was a lady god.
A very, very powerful, scary woman took my eye.
Funny. Same.
Asmo starts pouring himself a little bit more water.
Bergen finishes off his cup.
Asmo's just kind of like staring at him, looking at his. Asmo's just kind of looking at his notes right now about everything.
Bergen is just sitting placidly. His head kind of like bobbing a little bit. As you can tell, he's not happy to be sober and also tired.
Problem is, Bergen, I can't let you out of this cell. Can't really get you a bed either. Because unfortunately, the belief is, right now for me, is at most you're an idiot, and at worst a fool. And I think someone's gonna try to kill you to silence you.
Might be right on that.
I might be. Because I don't think this is just you and your buddies getting loaded and deciding to jump a bunch of innate. I think this is someone telling you to go do something. I think you were ordered to do it. Riled up. Pissed off. And maybe your buddies did it, and you didn't want to have anything to do with it. But then you got sucked into it as well.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I don't know what I'm lumped in with. But the fact is, I had nothing to do with whatever it is that you're looking into right now.
So, night of the event, night of the wonderful festival. You were seen having a conversation with Mr. Lone Grop at the tables. And as a matter of fact, I was nearby, and I saw you and your two friends. You know what's gonna get you more water here? And you know what's gonna get you to get this conversation over quicker is if you tell me their two names as well, and the last time you saw them. And before you say, I don't want anything to do with this.
And Asmo leans in for this. And Asmo taps the hatchet.
Whether willing or not, you're involved in this now. So what were their names? Of the people that have left you here holding this bag?
Give me persuasion with disadvantage.
Oh no! Okay.
You got
Okay.
this, dude.
No, the dice do, but thanks. Persuasion with advantage?
Disadvantage.
Fuck! Ah!
11. He looks up.
I'll give you the information I know about what it is you're looking into. But I ain't talking about them. I'll probably never see the light of day again. But I have a better chance if I don't talk about them.
Oh, Bergen. Bergen. You talk about people all the time when you're on drugs. I'd know.
He squints at you a little.
What do you know, Birkin?
Not as much as you hope I do.
If you know anything, it's more than I could hope for. Worst case scenario, you know nothing, and you just went, bodies? Okay, I'll chop up good, then do drug. But you're not the stupidest person in this room right now.
He looks around and notices that it's only the two of you.
Asmo smirks. Gotta be real dumb to want to be in charge of people.
Maybe.
Now, Asmo pours a little bit, pulls over his glass, starts pouring some water.
What do you know, Birkin? What vast wealths of knowledge are in that little head of yours?
I can tell you that this table is built like shit.
He kind of kicks the leg and it wobbles a little.
I'm not gonna lie, comfort's not really the thing we're going for when it comes to jail cells.
No, but durability should be.
Well, luckily that's what we have on the bars. And the walls. And the wards made by the innate.
See, the thing about bad wood.
He pulls his hands up rapidly. And as he does, the manacles break through the steel loop on the table, and he lunges for you.
Oh, he does he?
He does. He does get a surprise round here, unless... go ahead and make me a dexterity check.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is some Law and Order SVU stuff. Okay, let's... Alrighty, dexterity saving throw, you said? Or
Just a dex check to see if you can, essentially get him, get an action in before he lunges at you.
7. Is that... Wait.
He does catch you by surprise with this.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Yeah, so he lunges towards you with this chain that he's wielding now. And that is a 19 to hit.
Let me just take... It's been a while since I've had any combats. Give
I
me
know.
a second. It's like, oh, I know, right? That is a match. Because it's a surprise round, am I able to activate anything of mine?
I will say, since he's got you surprised, I don't think I'll allow it.
It's a match, though.
Yeah, so he does hit. And that is... basically, he gets you with this chain and kind of gets it around your neck. And, just kind of, pushes you very hard against the wall. You do take 7 points of bludgeoning damage. And make me an athletics check.
Oh, okay. Here we go. I thought saving throw or check?
Check.
Right, acrobatics. Sorry. And Jane can shoot. 19!
You are not restrained by this.
Good. Okay. Fantastic. Okay.
He's,
Sorry,
he's weary enough that his, he's able to catch you by surprise. And he catches you good with that chain around the neck. It's just BAM! Right at your windpipe. But you're able to kind of get your arms up and, kind of thrust his arms back so he's not able to pin you against the wall.
Okay, I'm thinking of something in my head right now here. So Asmo has access. He can move his hands around and grab stuff, essentially.
I need better music than this. Hold on.
Asmo is... okay. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, boy.
Oh, come on, there's got to be a better song. There we go.
All right, 1 second. I'm just kind of going through one of the things here. I'm just double checking a couple of my stats here on this one because I have a bunch of different options I can do right now. Okay, 1 second here. Sorry, apologies on this one.
No worries.
Just caught me off guard.
You weren't expecting combat.
No, I was not. Asmo is going to... So, am I holding back the chain with one hand right now?
You've kind of like got his arm so that the chain is not pitting you around the neck right now. You kind of like shoved at his shoulders and like kind of nudged him back off of you for a moment.
Asmo's going to reach in to off his belt and grab the one off his back that he always keeps kind of above his butt. Asmo grabs the javelin chain.
Okay.
And grabs it with the right hand, because I'm thinking he's holding it back, pushed him back with his left. Asmo's gonna sweep it, like literally throw it to go around his midsection and try and literally grab the chain, but duck his head as Birkin keeps pushing forward on him. That's what I'm gonna try to do. It's fancy, but I hope that's allowed.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll to hit with the chain.
Alrighty, and here we go. Asmo is actually gonna activate one of his abilities, though.
Sure.
Asmo is gonna activate his fighting spirit.
Go for it.
Is that fighting spirit? Is fighting spirit the one that does it?
Which one are you trying to do? The one that gives you advantage?
Yes. So I'm trying to remember if that's fighting spirit or not. Let me just double checking here. Give yourself advantage on all weapon attacks. Yes. Activate one of my 3 charges of weapons. Fighting spirit.
All right, do that.
All right, Asmo's gonna do it with advantage here, so he throws the javelin chain. 25.
25 is an absolute hit. Go ahead and roll damage as the chain goes past him, and then with a whip of the wrist, you get it to kind of swing around his midsection and make contact, kind of like hooking him around the midsection with the chain.
For flavor, the damage is Asmo's literally going to pull him into a headbutt under his chin.
Okay.
7 points of damage.
All right, you grab him, you wrap him in this chain, and you pull him in, and bam! Just kind of like bring the brow of your forehead up just and directly under his chin. And he's rocked by that. You hear some people scrambling outside for the to like get the door unlocked at the moment, but you do still have your extra attack.
Leave the door open to crap, but don't come in here!
Asmo says, how many attacks am I allowed in this? Because he got the jump attack on me, but I got one back in response. Are we going 1 for 1 right now?
You still have your extra attack. I mean, this is full-on combat.
Because here's what Asmo wants to do after knocking him off. Asmo wants to slip around behind him, and pull the chains up, and wrap them around his arms, and literally kind of put him back in a German suplex to the side a little bit. Because he's obviously bigger than Asmo, so... Essentially, Asmo's going to want to wrap the chains around him. That way.
Okay. So you want to German suplex him?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that you already have him wrapped in the chains. Make me an athletics check, and I'll let you do an additional chain damage.
Okay. It's fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just trying to get him on the ground. Literally, I'm trying to get him on. That's the flavor I'm going for right now. Trust me, all fights end when you're on the ground.
Yep.
So this was...
Athletics.
What did I need to hit? Athletics. Thank you so much. Come on. 19?
That's enough. That's enough to suplex this guy. Go ahead and roll chain damage again.
Oh, just... All right, boom. Non-lethal, though, by the way, too. I'm not trying to kill this guy, even though he tried to kill me.
Yep. With a 9, sure enough, this guy being kind of drug-addled, very fatigued... you lift him up, and what's left of that table, you BAM! Slam him through it. And kind of proving his point that it's not exactly it's certainly not a Japanese table.
No, and that would do twice as much damage.
Yeah.
Because they're smaller and more efficient.
He gets put through the table, and he's out. He is out like a light. The guards come in. What happened, sir?
Well, he's involved. And he's scared shitless.
Pogan walks over to you, kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder, and you heal what damage you had taken.
Thank you.
No problem.
He dropped a couple pieces of information. There were plans he heard about being said that he thought were stupid. And Lone Grop was involved in them. So the conversation they had was definitely connected. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Yo, Asmo just kind of snaps his fingers at his one of the constables.
One of the officers, yeah.
You get some chain and you wrap it around his shoulders. Okay?
We'll put him in a nice cell, sir.
Oh, I'm gonna give you one even better. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put a chain around his neck, you're gonna put it down his back, you're gonna pull it through his legs, and you're gonna have his hands attached to that. So if he wants to ever raise his hand to me again, he can get himself in his own goddamn nuts.
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Pogan smiles at that.
Oh, you dumbass. You dumbass. You know, Pogan, I gave him an out here, because he's clearly involved. How willing he is hard to say. But as far as I'm concerned, he's knowledgeable, and he just doesn't want to say it.
He could just be a very small cog in a bigger thing.
That's true, but even small cogs are present for difficult conversations. And it looks like Mr. Longrop and his friends were there for it. But it's the guy we got, the big, tough, stupid one. Ah, what a shame.
With that, you hear people coming down the hallway with some chains to chain him up, and the night drags on.
Before you chain him up, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a piece of stone, okay? And I want you to hammer in the point of the chain into the stone. And I want you to lock that chain to the stone you hammer in. As a matter of fact, why don't we go down to... I'm sorry, I went to the axe place. What was the name of the axe place I went to?
The Stone Knuckle Forge.
Go down to Stone Knuckle, ask him for his best chains, and ask him to send one of his best guys to hammer this in. Because I don't want this guy...
They're probably closed this time of night, sir, but...
Then you're gonna go to his house... Hey, sorry, hold on. This will do. This will do.
We can get a better chain tomorrow morning, sir. I'm sorry.
Wrap his legs up, too.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Get another chair and another table and another pitcher of water.
Yes, sir.
2 more cups, and you set him in that chair. And I will be back in the morning when Chatty here wants to tell me part 2 of his really boring story.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm agitated.
You should maybe go get some sleep, sir?
I should maybe go get some sleep.
And your officers get to work chaining this man. Some people are going out to see if they can find a table at 1 a.m.
Let's grab one of the ones from the other rooms.
And with that, we shall check in on Denier as the night drags on. Where have you been at this? Where would you be at this point? I'm guessing at the school still.
Absolutely. Indare would have
Denier,
spent enough. Yes, I said Indare, didn't I?
You did. Yeah, you had a me moment.
Yeah, that's multiversal version. My bad. So Denier would be he would be at the school, and he would stay at the school long enough for him to be able to access his arcane recovery. He would be speaking with Thermion about all the information that he has and that he's gathered, and he would basically offer Thermion to accompany him into Gideon's dreams to attempt to see what happened, since they know a little bit what happened to Callan. Hopefully a surviving view would give more information as to potentially the perpetrator of this particular act.
Okay. So just kind of sitting in your office with Thurfian, who doesn't look tired at all. You feel the weight of the day kind of weighing on you, even though you're kind of awake at all times, being that your dream sanctuary is also kind of a state of waking for you, but your body feels fatigued at the moment.
So you're going to travel into the boy's dreams to get his information.
Given that he's currently unconscious, we can't get a statement from him now, and we may be able to pull things from his subconscious memory that we wouldn't be able to get otherwise. Part of me thinks that this was an act of opportunity rather than premeditated. They were at the wrong place at the wrong time and somebody took advantage. I'm curious, Lani, has Asmo relayed the information that he gathered from the Stone Knuckle Forge?
Yeah, I told that to you guys when I came into the place. At least in my head, I did that. I don't.
I think he did, because he was there yesterday after you had recovered him, and that was...
They very tiredly explained what he had learned, and you guys kind of shared. I think we just flavored it that it just happened.
Yeah.
Like
Denier puts forward a piece of paper. The axe that was found at the location was from a throwing competition held by the Stone Knuckle Forge. And these are the people who won an axe. And he points on the list to A.M. It's entirely possible that Aiden won the axe that was used to disembody potentially himself and Callum. They were at the farmhouse to get some of the Yumberry wine that was being illegally held there. Apparently, Aiden knew somebody that worked at that farm. And that's why they were there. The wheelbarrow, so they were attacked somewhere around there. The wheelbarrow was stolen from the farmhouse, which means that the wheelbarrow was at least taken by somebody that knows somebody on that farm from the farm. We have the list of the last so many workers that was hired for that particular farm. Part of me wonders if Lani, the attack, the way that Callan described the attack was a silver flash and fire, correct?
Silver flash, and then she felt burning, which Nara took to mean correctly that was the impact point of the blade.
Now, Callan said that I believe that Kylan was the first to fall, given that when I spoke to her, the attack came from nowhere. There was a silver flash, and then...
She did say she also heard a scream.
There was a scream.
Yeah, a masculine scream behind her before that.
There was a mention that there was a masculine scream as well, so it could be that Aiden or Gideon may have seen the perpetrator beforehand, or they were the first to fall just before Kylan. Given that Gideon not only survived, but we found him at a secondary location, either he was taken to that location or he somehow escaped and hid out in the slums. But I'm also concerned that this may have been potentially some kind of surge that happened, and as much as I don't want to think it, I don't want to rule it out either.
You see almost a look of like mild disgust and frustration go across Thermian's face as you say that it could have been a surge.
They all had such good control over their abilities.
Which is one of the reasons why I want to go into Gideon's mind so we can rule that out.
Then you should proceed.
Of course. Would he be interested in joining Denier, or is he going to be looking after Gideon?
If you ask him directly, he'll say,
I should stay out here just in case. If anything were to happen now, I would feel even more responsible.
He gives a nod. Good. One waking, one sleeping. There's nobody more that I can trust on this than you.
I will look after him with my life.
He gives a bit of a nod. And when we do find the person that's responsible for this, well, you know what we do to monsters in Silver Rock.
He has kind of a distant look in his eyes for a moment, but a smile crosses his face.
Yes. I know too well.
All right. I will get to it. If there's anything, if anything else happens, please let me know. Even though I'm in the dream world, I am conscious of what happens around me.
He nods.
And Denier prepares to go into the dream realm.
You begin your meditation and slowly drift off. Reality feels like it sheds its skin to you. And once again, you find yourself slowly drifting upward through the dreamscape.
Denier begins looking around the scape. Given that he knows the general location of the tower and where various people are, would that make finding Gideon easier?
Oh, certainly, especially since, like, if you have, like, a person that you know that you directly wish to enter the dreamscape of, you have no problem finding them.
The first thing that Denier is going to do is he's going to make sure that a nightmare isn't in progress, that there isn't a nightmare actively working.
As you approach his dream, give me an insight check.
Okie doke. 23.
There is something odd about his dreamscape. It doesn't seem to be a nightmare, but you do believe that he is potentially still under the effects of some sort of either chemical inebriation or perhaps even some form of enchantment. There is some ethereal weave that appears to be kind of causing a haze over his dreamscape as you begin to drift towards it.
Is there any way that I can attempt to make an Arcana check to begin to clear the haze, at least temporarily, as I get closer to it?
Feels like something that is affecting his brain directly. You can certainly try to make an Arcana check.
Okie doke. 24.
As you drift further in, it doesn't seem to be harmful.
Mm-hmm.
There is something there. It's just hard to put your finger on exactly. You know you know that there might have been some sort of chemical either inoculation or forced imbibement.
Mm-hmm. Right, the potion that we found at the site.
But whatever is affecting his weave right now is not affecting your entry. And it doesn't seem to have any effect on you.
Okay. Denier will then begin to enter the dream.
As you fall into the dream, you see a bright, beautiful, sunny day in the countryside of Silver Rock. He's currently running through the field with a fully alive and brimming with life and youthful beauty, the young Kylan Frosk. They're running around, just kind of like holding hands, laughing, tripping through the fields as Aiden Moore kind of runs behind them, or is kind of like off to the side of them. Hey guys, I almost got it open! Cursh! And you see as he magically pops the lock to a old shed, hops inside, and walks out with a cask. What'd I tell ya? They've been storing it here for weeks. The old man has no clue. They laugh and they begin to imbibe and enjoy each other's company. Gideon and Kylan stare into each other's eyes, smiling. Ooh. And he's about to lean in for a kiss as you hear a scream from Aiden Moore. And that's when the world around you starts to turn dark. The idyllic landscape gives way to clouds and rain as a hooded figure, becloaked in a ever-shifting template of colors, stands with a bloodied axe over Aiden and begins to rush towards Kylan as Gideon stands up. He's elbowed out of the way as the axe lands in Kylan's face. And as the man turns towards Gideon, the dreamscape all begins to kind of swirl and pull into the darkness beneath the hood, where no face exists and there is only pure shadow. You yourself feel as though you're being pulled in as well, along with the entire surrounding.
Is there any way that I can attempt to obfuscate the shadow?
Sorry, what are you trying to do?
Basically defend myself and Gideon from the shadow that's pulling us in.
You can make a Arcana check. Certainly, you have control over the Dreamweave.
That's a 23.
With a 23, you're able to swoop in and grab Gideon before he is pulled into the whirling vortex of the shadowy face, and sweep him away into a realm of your own creating, kind of creating a bubble with which that reality exists, and then throwing it, just kind of like a beach ball. You push it up into the sky as you guys sit in a remote void. What sort of a surrounding would you create for you?
The first thing that he would think of, the very first thing that he would think of for a safe space is a small corner of the Wandering Weasel.
As the void gives way, you find yourself in a corner table of the Wandering Weasel. The old barman from behind the counter looks up. What? Welcome to the Wandering Weasel! I wasn't expecting anybody at this moment.
My apologies, Tom. Emergency situation, and this is the first place that popped into mind as a safe space.
Just kind of holds up his hands. No worries, as long as you wrap the tab. And Gideon is just kind of like hyperventilating there.
It's okay. You're safe. Just take a deep breath and get your bearings about you.
Master Denier?
He gives a nod.
Where are we? What just happened?
You're dreaming. You were having a dream which quickly began to twist and turn into a nightmare. I grabbed you and pulled you deeper into your dreams to somewhere that's safe. Let's just say.
He looks at his hands. Oh. Okay.
He holds up a hand. Welcome to the Wandering Weasel.
Thank you. He kind of brushes his now besweated dark hair past his slightly pointed half-elven ears.
Everything's going to be okay. I want to let you know we have found you. And you're safe.
Found me?
He gives a nod.
What do you mean, found me?
What you saw just now, that really happened.
His eyes go from confusion to a look of shock and then slight horror and then a deep despair seems to well up over his eyes. No.
Thankfully, we managed to get to you.
No. Kylie. Aiden. No, they can't. No.
He reaches out and he gently places a hand onto Gideon's shoulder in an attempt to comfort him.
He leans into your shoulder, sobbing.
He pulls him in, holds him tight. He pulls a Wolfgang and just hugs this kid to his shoulder and his chest.
How could that? How could that happen?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Who did it? Why?
That's why I'm here. We're currently investigating to find out who it is that did it, why they did it, and so that we can bring them to justice. And I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me with that.
If I find who did it, I'm gonna kill them myself. I'm gonna kill them myself!
He nods. We need to... Your rage and your anger is valid. For now, we'll get to whoever this is, whoever did this. I promise you, they will pay. But for now, we have to try to get them before they get too far away.
What can I do?
We're going to have to go back. I need to see everything that you've seen, and I need you to help me. Now, do you remember anything about some kind of a potion? I know that you and them, I know that you drank of Yumberry wine. We've already been to that barn. We've already found it.
He seems unconcerned with the consequences of that, given the revelation.
Given the gravity, yeah, Denier is fairly just matter of fact with it. We found a potion bottle near where we found you, not too far away. Now, did somebody make you drink something? Do you remember anything about being made to drink something? Some kind of a potion that gives you like a lightheadedness, a fluttery feeling?
He stops and tries to focus. The Dreamweave around you kind of like contracts, constricts, expands a bit. You can actually see Tom behind the counter just kind of holding his hand out as it gets stretched and morphed. Kind of chuckles at it.
Fascinating, isn't it?
At which point Gideon opens his eyes. Huh?
I was talking to the barman. It's focus on this.
Right.
And Denier will attempt to help him if he's able to.
Okay, give me an Arcana check.
16.
With your assistance, the bar begins to fade away. Tom kind of like slowly fades out. Oh, goodbye then. And slowly, the world kind of drifts back to the way it was the day of the festival. I remember going through the festival. We played games. And you see them kind of standing at the axe throwing booth. At which point, Gideon throws a perfect bullseye. And Kylan runs up and gives him a big hug as he receives his prize. He chuckles, and Aiden kind of like slaps him on the shoulder, and he says like, "Good game." They wander off into the festival, enjoying various foods. It was such a wonderful day. We decided to skip the tournament. We didn't want to pay for those tickets. They were a little too pricey for us.
Yeah, to be totally honest with you, it got canceled midway through.
Huh.
So you made a good call with that. He speaks trying to like bring up the situation just a little bit to try to give him a little bit of comfort while they're watching all this happening. Trying to keep his mind stable.
Oh, maybe we didn't. Maybe we didn't. Aiden said he knew a friend that knew somebody who was storing Yumberry wine, and we had never tried it, so we were going to go give it a try. So we went out to that field. And then, as the events once again kind of play out around you...
Remember, this is only a dream. Nothing can happen to you here. I am here with you, and I will protect you.
As you're standing in that field, behind you, kind of looming in presence, is that becloaked figure again with the shadowed face. It just came out of nowhere. It just came out of nowhere. And
Try to remember any details that you can. Even the slightest thing might be able to help. And I try to help him. I'm attempting to do everything that I can to help him with it via the dream weave and via trying to keep him calm so that his mind is almost as logical as possible.
As the figure approaches, holding a hatchet out to its side, I want you to make me another Arcana check. As the cloak continues to shift colors, the face begins to pull in things around it, all light.
32!
With a 32, the
God
cloak
damn.
slowly stops shifting color and lands on a stable blue, the same blue as the cloak of the students that are currently in the vision. As he walks up slowly, the world is still being pulled into something, but it's no longer the faceless void of the becloaked figure. Instead, as you look down, the world is kind of twisting as if being littered down a drain. And as you watch it slowly spill away, the vortex that it's being pulled into is the vortex of the same shape of that potion bottle that you had found. I can't.
Okay.
And then you
It's
find
okay.
yourself once again just sitting in the void.
Am I still... So I'm still with Gideon. I haven't been, like, ejected.
You have not been ejected. You're way too powerful to be ejected from this boy's mind. He is... It's you and him floating in a void of space above what appears to be a potion bottle. A very large potion bottle, probably about the size of a pyramid, but a potion bottle nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what... I don't know.
You're doing fantastic. You've given us more information than we had previously. We're going to find this person.
He nods.
He gives a little bit of a smile. He gives that soft and near smile. I'm guessing sometime here is when you are forced to drink this potion.
I don't remember.
He touches his chest, and you hear the squeak of a rat as it burrows its way out of his chest.
He reaches out and grabs the rat, and he attempts to just wave a hand over his chest and, heal the wound.
It's easy enough. He's made of dream weave, same as everything else here.
This is simply trauma. This is no doubt there are other entities within the dream realm that assist in trying to help you with deal with these feelings, deal with everything like this. Can I speculate what I'm guessing that the rat is a symbol, is supposed to be meaning after he woke up.
Yeah, you can make that assumption. It did seem to crawl out of the same exact spot that Nara had hit him.
Mm-hmm. When we found you, there were rats everywhere. One of my companions, Nara, saved you from being attacked by a number of them. Do you remember this?
I don't know. Maybe. My chest does hurt.
I imagine that it would. You took quite a beating before we managed to find you. Do you know of anybody that lives in the slums of Silver Rock? And he waves his hand just a little bit, and he shows a small orb with the hovel that they found him in. Does this location bring any memories to you?
Not really. I'm
gonna give him a roll for something, since this was relatively recent, though very traumatic. Yeah, no, his brain isn't really focusing on, wasn't incredibly focused after he had just woken up, but you do hear the squeaks of rats echoing around you. And their little yellow eyes just kind of illuminate, they almost look like a starscape kind of glinting at you as they kind of squeak in harmony. It reminds you vaguely of that time when you were being chased by a wave of rats in the city, in the sewers of Dragon's Rest.
Being controlled by Matthew.
Yep.
See if memories. Okay. And those were linked to a group that deals with dead. Daenerys is almost floating, thinking about everything that's going on. with what I've seen about the blue cloak, the student cloak, with what I remember and what I saw, could I make any kind of approximations, height, weight, build, what have you?
On the fact that it was in a dream, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Because the shape and size could be altered dramatically based on the believed perception of the person that is having the dream.
Mm-hmm. I think the axe is going to be very important coming up. I'm going to have to talk to Asmo again. His attention turns back to Gideon. I can only imagine everything that you're going through right now. But just know that we're going to do everything that we can for you.
He nods shallowly.
And I just want to let you know you are safe. Master Haslafar is looking over you right now as we speak. He gives a little bit of a smile. He carried you himself all the way back to the academy.
It doesn't seem to bring him much joy, but maybe the slightest bit of comfort seems to cross his brow.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you can... Did you see any other students from the academy after you left the festival?
I mean, I saw a few at the festival, but I didn't see anybody following us, and I don't know.
What happened now? You won an axe from the festival.
Yeah.
What happened? Did you still have the axe during that time, or where did the axe go?
I don't remember. I think I had it. He looks at his hands. I think I had it.
Gives a slow nod. And I take it that when we got to him, it was gone.
He certainly had nothing on him when you found him. He was just in his... I mean, whatever he went out in the festival in, just much dirtier. He didn't even have his cloak. But that was found on a nearby vagrant.
Okay.
Well, a cloak was found on a nearby vagrant. You
Right,
can assume
we
it's
don't
him.
know.
You can assume it's his or not.
Mm-hmm. I know that there's questions I need to ask, but for the life of me, I can't remember. I can't think of any questions that I need to ask.
At the moment, you can tell that the boy is still very much traumatized from everything, so perhaps it would still, like, in your best interest to just put him in a calmer dream and just let him rest to maybe help him refocus his mind.
That's one thing that I was thinking of before I actually left him. Gideon, where is someplace that brings you comfort, that makes you happy? I need to speak to some of the other professors, but I want to put you someplace. I want to leave you with a good dream. What can I do for you?
Let me say goodbye to Kylan. I don't know if you can make her real or not, but
it'll be real to you. And that is something that you will not be able to forget.
He nods, tears welling in his eyes. Okay.
Come on. He wraps an arm around him, and he leads him back into the quote unquote real dream world to give him his closure with Aiden and Kylan.
So you kind of leave him in a field with them to give him closure.
Basically, he gives like one final day with his friends to be able to have his closure, be able to have his happy moments, and something that he'll be able to remember, and he'll be able to have a better closure of them.
As you fly off out of his dreamscape, you see that they're all just kind of giving each other a hug down below as you leave him to part with his friends one final time. And as you head out of his dreamscape, here is where we will take a quick break. Hey guys, Lani here. I just wanted to thank you for rolling with us. And if you wanted to catch us live, you can do so almost every Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time over on twitch.tv/Lanipator. Now, back to the show. Nara, you find after getting everybody bundled away in the little hostel sleeping cots, you have your bag full of go-away dust.
Right.
And you have made your way back to Peter Popper's Potion Emporium. I remembered that off the top of my head, and I'm very proud of that.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. It's very closed, but...
very closed?
Very closed. It's late. It's very late.
What do her drow eyes see inside?
Roll me a perception check, and I will tell you.
Okay. Well, to do that, I will open my character sheet, which I have not opened all game yet, and then I will roll
Always
that
a good call.
perception
That is, in
for
fact,
which you asked me for in this moment.
That is, in fact, how all
It's
of
a
those things work.
17.
That has to be one of the lowest perception rolls you have ever made. But that's still very good.
It's because I forgot to open my sheet.
It's all good. Yeah, your sheet wasn't warmed up.
Yeah.
Connor blowing it for bad luck.
Like so many of the windows in the slums, those that aren't cluttered over by stuff stacked in front of them or boarded over due to the fact that some of them have shattered. Many of them are dirty, either on the inside or the outside, or both. But from what you can glance on the inside, there doesn't appear to be any movement. The shelves seemed... from what shelves you can see, they're kind of sparsely, filled. You do, however, catch the ever slightest flicker of light coming from what appears to be a small crack in a door way in the back. Again, you rolled very low, but your perception is just so damn good, and you have very good night eyes that you're able to detect this amount of light at the back of this place.
Nara goes up to the door. The
door to the shop?
The door to the shop, but like the crevice where the door meets the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
And just jams her face right in it.
Okay,
and it's like...
Your face is now pressed up against the wooden door.
Hello?
Go ahead and give me... what would this be? Probably persuasion? Like, you're just trying to get somebody's attention.
28.
Give me another perception check.
21.
You hear what sounds like the sound of wood scraping against wood, like a chair sliding, like...
What was that? What was that? Huh?
She
hear
flips on the oh my gosh, what is it called? I haven't used it in so long. The Veil of Faces.
Okay. Yes.
To look like a wealthy young woman.
You see a face, very short in stature, pointed ears. One of the ears, like, kind of like slightly rounded based on the silhouette that you're getting behind this muck and mire of glass, kind of like peering out the front. They look out at you.
We're closed. What do you want?
Just fell and hurt his knee, and all of the shops have been closed. I was just hoping that you had some potions around.
He gives, like, he eyes you over once.
You don't look like you're from around here. I don't trust this.
I know, but I'm sorry. All the other shops were closed. I didn't know where else to go.
It's nighttime. Of course they're closed, and it's pouring outside. This is...
Give me a persuasion check.
Uh-huh.
With disadvantage, because this is very sketchy.
21.
But you are very pretty. Ah! He opens the door.
I knew that'd be a thing.
Come in. Gosh, what's going on? What's happening here?
As you get a better look at this guy, he looks almost half goblinoid. Like his nose is very prominent. His brow is also slightly prominent. He's got kind of like beady eyes. One of his ears is long and pointed. The other one looks like it got halfway cut off, but looks like it would also be pointed. His skin is pale, but he looks ill.
Oh.
What are you doing out there this late at night, lady? Come on. Like, you said somebody's injured? What is
My
this?
little brother. Yeah, sorry. We were playing really late, and he fell and hurt his leg, and I don't have any more potions left, so I was wondering if you had any. I didn't want my parents to find out.
You just need healing potions. Okay, hold on. I'll tell you, of the weird shit that happens around here, this is up there. Nobody's gonna believe this. Nobody.
Well, stranger things have happened, right?
Yeah. Whole place gets overthrown. Suppose it does.
What is it?
I mean, the whole government shifting, people disappearing, all the money kind of drying up around here.
People disappearing?
I mean, yeah, apparently the dude's wife was eating people.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty scary.
Yeah, I guess people still do disappear from time to time. Mostly the magic folk.
He reaches up on a shelf and pulls down like a red vial and kind of a greasy looking vial, like a red liquid in a kind of greasy looking vial with a old rotted cork in the top of it.
Healing potion.
Been happening a lot lately? The magic folks?
I mean, they disappear from time to time. I mean, they say that there's, some spirits that, like, sweep them away somewheres. I mean, either that or they go to that school up there. Either way, we never see them again.
So crazy.
Yeah, so you want to buy this potion? Your kid brother's hurt, right?
Yeah. He seems stable. I just don't want there to be any wounds left, you know?
And you just left
She
him out?
starts-
He's kind of like looking you over.
And you just left him out there.
He's old enough to take care of himself. We just don't want to get in trouble is all.
Uh-huh.
And she starts looking around at all the potions.
You have so many different potions here. Usually there's just a stock of them in the house, which I know sounds terrible, but I've never seen a.
You've never.
And she scans the bottles to see if she can find the one.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh my gosh, 15?
Wow.
Of course,
You
I
don't
wasted
see
them.
any of the bottles you're looking for. Almost all of the vials around here are, in fact, in what you would describe as vials. Like there are very few flat-bottomed potions at all, and those kind of look like they're in a. What the hell is the thing I'm thinking of? Like a boiler flask almost.
Boiler flask. So they're all just the exact same kind of bottle.
Yeah, vials at that. Like this guy does and some of them are just in like old ass hooch bottles and stuff like that. This guy does not anything that's bigger than a vial is in a repurposed bottle that you might have just found lying around the streets. This guy is not the kind of guy that goes out and buys bottles.
Okay.
In fact, with your perception check, you do see a kind of above the desk. There's a vial trade-in program. Bring your vials back. Get quarter off your
BYOV.
Yeah, bring your own vial discounts kind of deal.
BYOV.
Does she doesn't have the vial with her, does she?
No, you left that with Glib Pringler, who was doing his experiments on it.
It was what shape again? It was like...
It's a square-shaped base, and then it goes up in kind of a conical fashion.
Okay.
A bottle trade-in?
Yeah, you need to fill these things back up somehow, right? I mean, gotta keep the storage, the shelves stocked.
Easy.
You bring in a bottle, I can fill it with something as long as I got it in stock. It's easier to keep this stuff in casks or barrels than it is in the vial.
These all kind of look the same. Is there a lot of different types of bottles you come across?
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
My brother found this squarish one the other day. Smelled really weird though. Has that one come through? He seemed weirdly fond of it.
He squints.
What the hell's all this about?
She gets this kind of flat look in her face.
Ah, fine.
Pulls back the veil. Morphs into Nara in the elegant wedding dress covered in sapphires.
I was just having fun. You made it boring.
His jaw kind of drops a little bit more.
Yeah, I probably would have opened the door quicker for this, if I'm gonna be honest.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
The things we learn. Hi. I'm Nara, queen of them all.
Pete?
Pete?
Yeah, Pete Popper.
That makes sense. It's the name of the store and everything.
Yeah. What's
What is his face doing? What is he emotionally experiencing right now, from what I can tell?
Give me a insight check.
Insight. Natural 20 and 27.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me, Nick, in detail. It's a nat 20. Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead and explain.
In order, confusion. Confusion seems to be the primary one. He's not sure why a pretty lady decide to disguise herself as another pretty lady and open up, like, get into his shop at 1 a.m. I mean, on top of the confusion, like, with the confusion, there is certainly a level of, what would you call it? Concern and caution. Third is probably arousal.
Okay.
No necessarily small amount of that. You can kind of catch his eye checking the zones for that.
Right.
And beyond that is probably a small sense of helplessness.
Okay.
Where
Okay.
he knows that anybody that can morph like that and somebody that looks like you is far beyond his ability to deal with in any sort of physical manner.
Hilariously, this is going great for what I wanted for this. So awesome.
In fact, with that, you can see that, like, part of that worry, you can see that he's also kind of behind his back holding a bright green vial, which he slowly but surely just kind of, like, puts back in his pocket and lets his hand rest at his side.
So you kind of already know, without knowing, why I'm here. Magic folk have been disappearing. And that's a problem.
Oh, I thought you were here to kill me. I mean, you're one of the night folk, right?
But things are escalating out there. And I need to find some information.
Well, what kind of information?
That square bottle I was talking about, have you come across any?
You'd have to be more specific.
He points to, like, kind of an old whiskey bottle, like a square whiskey bottle.
I mean, like that, or...
She will pick it up and, like, trace the shape that it should be on the bottle. And then give, like, an approximation of size with her hands.
Yeah, the bottle itself is already too large, so you kind of give him an approximation. Give me an... What would this be? Probably just a straight intelligence check, just to see how well you can describe the bottle itself in...
Oh, that's not good,
in detail enough for him to understand what it is.
What about performance?
Do you have any, like, illusion magic that you can, like, create a replica of it, or...
No. Wait, let me check. I don't believe so, though.
Even minor illusion would work if you have it.
I don't have that. I have a lot of ways to kill people.
That makes sense.
Do you have prestidigitation?
I do not.
Oh.
Again, lots of ways to kill people. No, I don't. So intelligence it is, and I'm about to make myself sad. 12.
That's not that bad.
Okay.
You're able to describe using, like, the shapes, and, like, you kind of, like, hold up another bottle that's about the right size and kind of give him a brief description.
I mean, maybe. I fill orders a lot. Do you know what was in it?
This was a sleeping thing, right?
You don't know. I mean, you don't really know what was in it. You know that it made your head kind of spinny when you sniffed at it, but you didn't get a swig of it, and there wasn't really any real residue left.
There wasn't anything left in the bottle, but it does give you a sort of heady, spinny feeling.
So something that you do is maybe to drug somebody? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't ask many questions of my patrons. It's hard enough to run a business around here, and you get shady people, but unless you know what was in it, I don't know if I can help you.
How willing does he seem to help her figure this out?
Give me another insight.
19.
He seems open and honest about what he's saying. He doesn't look like he's trying to hide anything from you. He does seem like he looked as though he had accepted his fate a little bit upon you revealing yourself. So, right now he's in this situation of like, okay, I'm alive. This is working.
Stop here. Why don't you ask questions? How did you get to this place?
How did I get here?
Yes.
I mean, I don't exactly fit in with the hoity-toity types. Nobody was really offering me a job, but I studied how to make potions with my dad. He ran this place before me. And it was a bit nicer back then. Back when I was a kid. It wasn't so crappy. But this was before the guy that killed people, well, whose wife ate people. Like the guy before that guy, like he was pretty good.
Before Kench.
I mean, they were both Kenches.
Right.
But Daddy Kench, he was good to the people. I mean, good as any noble, really. And
She squints.
I came along, and my dad taught me how to make potions, and I tried to apply my craft other places. I tried working for that fucking snooty cherry weather prick, but he's got his nose so high up in the air, he's probably sniffing God's ass. So I stuck here.
Beautiful businessman.
It pays the bills.
Does it?
Keeps me fed.
Hmm.
And there ain't really anywhere else to go.
She's long lost in thought.
You say you don't ask questions, but surely you hear whispers, right?
I mean, you get your suspicions about certain people, and I like to think that I can read them pretty alright. But
Did anyone seem like they were going to do something against the magic folk?
I mean, not outwardly. I get shady people in here looking for poisons and stuff like that. Different types of mind-altering concoctions from now and again. And really, in those situations, it is frowned upon to ask questions. Usually, you find yourself on the wrong end of a blade.
From the magic school ever come here?
From the magic school? Nah, they usually stick up topside, Like, most of the kids are too scared to come down this way. I don't blame them.
And you said mind altering. What kind of things does that entail?
I mean, there's things that'll make you space out for a while. Things that'll make you feel certain ways that, like, towards people that maybe you wouldn't normally.
Really? How do you mean?
Oh, I mean, he points back to a barrel that has a heart on it.
It's an old enchantment. I mean, bards and them use it all the goddamn time. Just makes people more friendly to you. And it's not my fault what people decide to do with it.
A love potion.
It's a friendship potion, but how some people decide to use it is, yeah. Doesn't last very long, but
Would it... what could you do while someone was under the influence of this?
I mean, it certainly makes people more pliable to, suggestions.
Any suggestions?
Within reason. I mean, that stuff ain't gonna let you, make somebody, kill themselves or nothing.
What about killing other people?
I mean, they'd probably already have to have a disposition for it. That stuff ain't that strong.
There's something like that?
If you're good enough at brewing, probably. I mean, if a wizard can do it, then odds are that you can maybe find a potion that does a similar thing. But I ain't that good.
You that good?
She looks him over.
Sorry, I lost the first part of that. It kind of cut out.
Why aren't you that good, in your opinion?
I mean, all I ever got was what my dad taught me. And my dad had a code of ethics. He didn't want to make anything too dangerous. I mean, I learned a few things that were a little more dangerous than he would have allowed, and admittedly, I've sold things that he wouldn't sell. But I had to figure all that stuff out on my own.
So, your expertise would be in, what would you say?
If my dad was good at making people feel better with tinctures and potions and salves, I'd say I learned how to make poisons. Is that what you're here for?
I'm purchasing a few things.
I can show you what I got. And
he kind of goes to where the barrels are behind the counter, reaches behind a barrel, and you hear a chunk as he pulls his arm back. And then the barrels kind of spin away, and you see behind them are these vials of green, black, yellow ichors. They're mostly venoms and various herbs that I've found that, when mixed with the proper oils, can be coated on a blade, or when ingested, let's just say, put a problem to sleep for a prolonged period of time, potentially forever if it's strong enough.
Which is your most potent one?
He reaches back and kind of pulls out this very swampy green, almost like with a hint of purplish ooze kind of trickling inside of it.
This is wyvern poison. I admittedly didn't make this, but it found its way into my possession. I'd need a poison gland if I were to try to make it myself. But I've made some stuff that's almost as strong every now and again.
I think I have one of those, actually.
He looks at you.
She's looking up off into the side like, I think it's still in my bag. She looks back at him, sort of placid expression.
If you're ever looking for a place to sell it, I'm not loaded or nothing, but this is the meatier side of my business.
Into business together.
Sorry,
that you could start-
the front part of your sentences are continuously getting cut off. I'm not sure what's happening.
That's very sad. I don't know why.
It's happening to you too a little, actually.
Really?
It might be Discord's thing.
Yeah.
What if you were able to continue the meatier side of your business while also fostering the healthier side as well? And if you had an investor that wanted to get a cut of the sales?
I'd say I'm interested.
Some of the payment could be in the form of information for a attentive ear.
I can start maybe keeping a ledger of interesting parties that come through.
And I can maybe start investing in your business so that you are not stuck with a profession that you did not originally want.
How much
Maybe
of an
even give the, what's his snooty boy a run for his money.
cherry weather? You think?
Yes. I think you could, if given the opportunity. Currently, you seem to be a victim of circumstance. I've met many people in that position lately.
This whole town is a victim of circumstance.
I was a victim of circumstance once. Currently, I'm not. I may be again, but not for now.
What sort of investment are we talking?
She holds up a handful of gold.
His eyes widen.
I'm also covered in sapphires. I don't know if you noticed.
I did.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm a reasonable businessman, and a investment like this might help me spruce the place up. Maybe even fix the shelves.
And you notice that most of them are kind of,
Lopsided.
yeah, very, to use a Midwestern term, cattywampus.
Cattywampus.
Yeah.
Pete. I don't want anyone here to be stuck with a life they do not want.
And she looks at him sincerely.
Do you really want to be selling poisons all the time?
No. I'd rather people not really need them.
Well, why don't we make that a common cause? If anyone needs killing, I can handle that. Sort of my job, actually.
Go ahead and make me persuasion with advantage.
17.
I think we can work something out. It might take
Insight?
He just kind of like wanders with his words a little bit.
Might take a little more gold to really get this place running. But I think we can
I have
work
other
together.
resources as well. I could have help come to you, fix things.
Then I think we got a deal.
Can I insight that? Does he seem genuine and excited about this, or
Sure.
18?
He's still frightened of you a bit, but
Fine.
he does seem excited at the prospect.
Okay. She will hold out her hand for him to shake.
And he will reach up. You notice that his fingernails are kind of long and a little pointed, almost claw-like, as he shakes your hand.
Now, I don't want to deplete the supply of what you already have back there, and I'd rather people not ask questions, so if you don't mind, I will buy some of your potions for now, so that you may restock them.
Yeah, sure.
How much
Are
gold?
you-
How much gold did you set out?
Oh, I only showed him that she has like a fuck ton of gold just on her as a person already.
Gotcha.
But how much gold would be considered a lot of gold to someone who works at a potion shop?
To someone who works at this potion shop?
Yes. Specifically.
This is probably one of the more lucrative places. So this guy probably is actually used to seeing gold every now and again. So probably 20 to 30 gold would be considered a good chunk for him. Like that's probably about as much as he'd make in a week. Maybe even 2.
Then she will give him 40 gold. She will put it on the table and slowly look up at him with like a soft smile that is endearing to starting business together.
40 king's heads. He holds up one of the coins and just like kind of looks back up at you. Yeah. You just kind of like gestures at the shelves. Take whatever you want.
I'll be in touch to discuss the terms of our business later, but view this as a gesture of goodwill to start our business off on the right foot.
Yeah. He's like looking
And-
around nervously as if to expect to see somebody else watching him.
And do keep that ledger. Any information is going to be very useful going forward.
It'll be the first thing I buy tomorrow.
Help me out. Give me your best choices.
Oh, well, I mean, we got those healing potions over there.
He basically tosses you the vial of wyvern poison that he had.
Oh, he gives it to me?
For 40 gold?
Fair. Wyvern poison, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll give you the stats on that later.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
Maybe a few health potions, like 3, maybe 4. I don't know.
if you let's see, how many does he have? Let me. Yeah, he has 3. You can take all 3 of them.
She will take 3, and also say something encouraging about like you should work on health potions again.
He nods and is like, basically as he's kind of like wandering around looking at the potions that he has. He does give you 1 draught of friendship potion.
Aww. After he tells her what that is, she'll just also kind of like randomly touched that he's deciding to do anything nice. I know it's 40 gold, but still. And she'll smile warmly at him.
And those are probably like the only real potions he actually has. Everything else is kind of made to order, and he would need to acquire ingredients for.
Okay.
Something important, though, Pete.
Yeah?
When you start improving things, make it seem like it's a choice that you made. Start cleaning things, do things slowly. Otherwise, people will wonder why you made so many new and expensive choices very quickly. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's real smart.
Be discreet with everything. And if you ever have questions, you can find me in the city.
Yeah, sure.
At that point, would you like turn to leave, or?
Probably, yeah.
Then on your way out, he would kind of like hold up saying, what do I call you exactly?
I'm Nara, Queen of the Maw.
All right then, Queen Nara. I'll look forward to our future dealings.
As do I. See you later.
Bye.
And he just kind of like waves as you walk out the open door.
I should probably close that.
And they, as you walk further into the night, he closes the door.
She does, before she fully goes away, she does make sure that he closes and locks the door.
Yeah, you hear a latch slide on the other side.
She picks up her pace and walks into the night.
And with that, I assume everybody is going to go ahead and take a long rest at the end of this long, stormy day.
I don't know if Asmo actually got out of his clothes before he fell into his bed. I don't know.
Nara, as you arrive at home, Asmo is currently just collapsed on the couch, just snoring.
Mm-hmm.
She will do the classic, like, take the shoes off, get a blanket, put a cup of water next to him.
See the tongue just lapping at it eventually, subconsciously.
La, 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 la.
And also, is he on the couch?
Yeah,
Yes,
kind
face
of
down.
in the main room.
She will lay on the back of the couch so that when she is going into trance mode, if he wakes up, her face will be turned at him.
Freak him out.
Yes.
My dog did that to me once, where I fell asleep on the couch and he just climbed up on the top cushions. I woke up and he's just staring down at me with his like little tongue blurping out.
Precisely that.
Everybody gets a nice long rest. In the morning, Wolfgang, you were awoken by Jamat. Pardon me, sir. There's a visitor at the front door waiting for you.
Visitor, who is it? Who is it?
It's Miss Talia, sir.
Oh, right. Yeah, tell her I'll be down.
I'll make her a cup of tea in the meanwhile.
Yeah, fine. Yes.
Your clothes are all pressed and ready for you at the foot of the bed as per usual, sir.
And people call me an angel.
He smiles. Take your time. And he heads downstairs.
Eventually, Wolfgang will descend.
You make your way downstairs, and Talia is currently sitting at the breakfast table with your son and Jamat. There is a nice plate of eggs and thick bacon waiting for you, and a side of beans.
Does she look like she's eating
just-
anything while I was getting ready?
She's currently eating, like, just a... it looks like Jamat has set her up with a couple of halved citrus fruits, which she is currently enjoying. Good morning. she says.
Top of the morning.
Went by that potion shop. She pulls out a vial. You didn't really have any of the particular bottles you were looking for out front, but in the back of his shop, I found a box of these. And she puts a bottle very reminiscent of the one that you had seen earlier. Is that the one you
Is
were
it
looking
full?
for? No, it is currently empty.
Could I do like a proper investigation to see if this is in fact the same make and model?
Sure.
Alrighty. Let me see. Investigation. It would probably help if I opened my sheet.
Yeah, problem with going through one person at a time in this is that nobody has a reason to open their sheet until they do.
I have a pretty good investigation. A soft 20.
Soft 20. Sure enough, this looks to be even down to the shade of the cork, almost the exact same bottle.
That's the one. Were you able to get any information out of him?
Well, currently, he has been informed to report to your office in the morning. I didn't want to leave him too tongue-tied, but I also wanted to leave him a little nervous.
Well,
She also slides.
Fine.
She also takes a book out of her satchel and sets it down. It does look like, aside from his normal potions business, he is running a front for custom orders out of the back of his shop.
is Elliot in the room right now?
He is. He's just listening to the conversation, wide-eyed, eating his breakfast. Very much enthralled by this.
Wolfgang grumbles, choking down a few choice four-letter words, and he nods. All right. I'll look these over, and I'll have a talk with them.
Try not to be too gentle with him. He seemed less than surprised that I showed up.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Good work.
Happy to be of assistance.
Anything else for me?
Oh. Just the list of recruits that I'm thinking about, but I can get you that report later.
Aye, that can wait. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll be on my way. Thank you for the fruit,
All
Mr.
right.
Atson. You're welcome, dear. She kind of like ruffles Elliot's hair on her way out. Behave, kid. He just kind of chuckles a little.
Well, looks like I need to go meet with this guy in my office.
I can... Hold on. Jamat kind of like runs back, grabs you what is essentially kind of like a thermos and hands it to you.
Ooh.
Some coffee for the go, sir.
You're the best, Jamat.
I do my best, sir.
All right, pup. Gotta go out doing some work for the day.
Oh.
You'll be good, all right?
When do I get to start at the sorcerer school, Dad?
His throat goes a little dry at that. We're hammering out those details now, son.
He nods. Is Dedra doing good there?
Oh, she's making plenty of strides. And I'm sure you will too.
Okay. And he just kind of smiles and continues eating his breakfast.
All right, I'm off.
As you head off into the city, you wander through the square and head towards the Kylum Diaboli.
Mm-hmm.
As you get to the square, there appears to be a commotion around the courtyard of the Kylum.
Well, obviously he'll go investigate.
As you rush towards it, there appears to be a man who you haven't seen before, just kind of like flailing about at the center of the courtyard. People are running around trying to like grab him, trying to make sure he like stops, but he's like standing convulsing. His eyes are bulging in his face, and he's trying to mouth words.
And is he like foaming at the mouth right now?
Not foaming, but his face is starting to turn red.
Okay. Without just breaking through towards this person, I am going to pull out a small pouch full of diamond dust, and I am going to cast Greater Restoration on this man.
As you kind of swoop in, you can see that like some of the clerics of your troop are trying to heal this man to no avail. But as you
Out of
like,
my way!
usher them aside, you kind of like take this diamond dust. You grab this man, casting Greater Restoration. His face that was beet red as you got to him starts to become paler, and he coughs up this blood that drips down your hands.
Oh.
And then his eyes go wide, and he takes in a deep breath.
You with me?
I was told to come see you.
I need a healer.
And still alive, he passes out.
Bloody hell. Literally bloody hell.
The clerics rush forward once again to heal him, to try to bring him back. And as you quickly acted to save the life of who you can only assume at this point to be Mr. Clyburn,
Uh-huh.
here's where we will end today's session.